So I think we know at this point the 100 baby challenge is probably the most stressful challenge to do for any Sims player, and I agree. I have done the 100 baby challenge one time in 1 year and the 300 baby challenge in 7 months. Now personally, I would never do this challenge ever again, but since we're getting infants next month in March on the 14th and the Growing Together pack on the 16th, I really want to try and do the 100 baby challenge again, but this time do it with the same family that I did with the 300 baby challenge, but with the last child to be born in that family lineage. Now, like I said, I built this house in Strangerville just because I wanted to try something different, especially being able to like do a little smaller home in a very small secluded area. And Strangerville is not really my favorite pack of all time because the gameplay is not really as exciting as I thought it would be, but the world itself is chaotic, wild, wacky, with wacky neighbors, and just overall like vibe is kind of nice for how chaotic the 100 baby challenge is going to be. Now you're probably thinking, why in the world am I building on the smallest lot ever to exist in this world? The reason why is because with the 100 baby, you can have basements, and I think having a basement for your babies is probably a good thing, but also probably a bad thing. But I think honestly, it's kind of a good idea to have like space downstairs if you need to, especially if you're like willing to have that many kids and like also you just wanting to like grow your household in a different way. But I've also thought like starting in a very small lot and then over time moving to a bigger house would make more sense. So to be less stressful and not less, too chaotic, let's start small with the bare basics and see what we can possibly do. But the reason why I wanted to build here is because I felt Strangerville felt too crazy and I wanted to make a very normal looking home. So I did like the white picket fence with the green, mowed lawn and the nice, landscaping and the exterior with all the laundry and all the plants and, whatnot you got to do. And especially the inside was my favorite. And I didn't think I would have this much fun building a small little home in Strangerville because like I've built here before, but I didn't think I would have this much fun. Now, to be honest, I have not played in this save file in maybe like I'm gonna say like maybe 2.5 years because I made a video a while back ago regarding that I did the 300 baby challenge in 7 months. And I will link that video down below if you want to watch it along with the 100 baby family video as well, because I find like if you're in the same save file over the course of like several years, things get a little bit buggy, but also things get a little bit crazy with the family tree. Like my family tree at this point of this family is so messy that I can barely tell who's related to who had kids with who. It's a whole mess within itself, but I find it funny because pretty much everyone's related to everyone, and that's bad. So if you want to upload any Sims for me for my 100 baby challenge, I will leave the hashtag down below. It's just SpringSims Townies down below on the gallery in case you have any Sims you want me to use in this Twitch series. Now, I think when building like a small like little home, I think it's on a 20 by 15, I wanted to have the bare necessities, like, the main bedroom for the matriarch, and then the kids' room, and then the kitchen and the living room. There isn't really a dining room technically because how small this is. And I think when I go back into this lot, I didn't change it when I upload to the gallery, but I think when I go into the game to show you the real-time tour, I might see if I can change it to a tiny home residential or some type of like residential home to have benefits, because I think if you're gonna like start a 100 baby challenge or any challenge within itself, always start with a tiny home because you get extra benefits out of it, like bills or relationships or skills or whatever it might be. So really use tiny living to its advantage as much as possible so you're not like struggling to make ends meet in the game, especially when you're having all these kids. And I feel like I should probably do like a tips video of the 100 baby challenge for like starter game players of The Sims 4, because there's so many rules of the 100 baby challenge, but necessarily the whole rule is just having 100 babies. You can do whatever you want, however you want, with whoever you want. And the way I play it and the way I see it is that I'll like go with the flow. But the way I also do it is that I always start a club with using Get Together, because we got the club system with that pack, and you can always have like a bunch of baby daddies or baby mamas or whoever you want to have a kid with, add them into a group and like put that relationship where they can all be flirty to everyone and not get jealous, because a lot of the times with baby challenges or just making relationships in The Sims, they all get jealous for no reason because you think they're cheating on each other, but they really aren't. So using the club system like cancels that like jealousy out, so you can like all flirt with each other no matter what the circumstance might be. Have kids with literally everyone if you wanted to do that. And it's way more fun, way more easier. You can all be in the same area, all in the same group, and do your fun little, 100 baby challenge outings. But then the other pro tip that I always find that's really fun is being able to utilize your children to make money. This may sound bad, but I always do it because it's so easier for them to like do things whether I'm, out and about doing my stuff. Like having Get Famous, for example, using the video station that we got with that pack is really handy. Like have a row of like 5 computers of that video station and have all of your kids record videos, and then have your teenagers like edit and render them, or you just upload them and make money. Because like the good part about it is like you make residual income, you get fame out of it, and also it boosts your children's skills so they can get a better grade in school to move them out quicker. You see what I mean? So like utilize the packs that you have that are skill based for children so you can get them out quicker, so you can have more babies and finish the challenge faster. So I personally believe that there's so many like tips and tricks that I could give you all, which I should definitely write down and make a video out of and really just kind of see how it goes, because I'm kind of scared because the last time I did the 100 baby and like in this family tree of the 300 baby, I'm gonna say it was probably before the panini. And I'm gonna say like 2019 was the last time I touched this save file. And luckily for me, that at the end, I transformed every single occult into humans because I want every single sim in the save file to die. So I don't have a laggy save file, but I also don't want to have where I start dating like my 4th or 5th cousin remove, or some random sim that's related to my father or my grandmother. You don't want that crazy stuff in your family tree. That's crazy. We don't need that stuff. No, no. But I think it's kind of cool to see how much the family tree grows over time, especially if you like are playing with multiple Sims at the same time in the same family tree. And that's what I'm doing. I will be on generation 5 of this legacy. So I did the 100 baby challenge in 2 parts because my first matriarch was an elder and could not have any more kids. And so I had to go off with the most recent child born. So that was like Gen 2. And then I did the Black Widow challenge for Gen 3. And then Gen 4 was the 300 baby. And then Gen 5 will be the 100 baby again. And I'm trying to think of different ways to make it more interesting and different, like with a twist. Because since then, we have had way more packs, way more updates, way more everything since 2019 in The Sims 4. And I think I want to try something interesting with Strangerville and maybe defeat the mother again, but with my children. Maybe, I don't know, and see if we can restore peace and harmony in Strangerville while continuously having babies, if that makes sense. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of scared. I don't know what to think, but all I know, we all may cry, and that's totally fine. Crying is part of the contract that you sign when you do the 100 baby challenge. But I think what I'm going to do is actually show you the house in the game where it's not all sped up. That way you can kind of see all its glory and kind of see what I'm working with, especially how small this lot actually is. Now, personally, when building this house in Strangerville, I was kind of contemplating on what the color scheme was going to be like. And I felt pink and gray or like off-white made more sense for like the general color scheme, especially with like this general arealess trailer park area made sense. And I was getting inspo from Brandy Broke from The Sims 2, who lives in a trailer home, and the manicured lawn and the nice landscaping and the clothing line and like the toddler play thing over here with the planter boxes made perfect sense for the idea that I was trying to go for. But like, as you get into the inside, it is very, very small and compact with all the things that you can and cannot do. Like you have your kitchen over here with like your sink and your dishwasher with a nice little Wabbit tablet, of course. But I think the most important thing in this home is the bulletin board. That way we can like discipline our kids, whether they're grounded or they have a curfew, or like we can set chores for them, especially also having the thermostat here when it gets cold or too hot or something like that, so they're comfortable and they won't get taken away. But I kind of like the whole open floor plan that I have going on here with like the kitchen and the living room being in the same location. At first I was going to put like a Murphy bed in this location because you could have like a TV and a bed and a couch all in the same like area, but it felt like it wasn't necessary. But I might change my mind a little bit later to see, you know, kind of like what I do with it. But for now, I kind of want to keep this little general living room area with our toy chests and blocks. And here we have the kids' lovely bedroom. Now, at first I was gonna put like a toddler bed in here, but I felt like if we're gonna have one baby, we might as well have a bassinet. But then I'm also thinking over time, what I'll do when I play the challenge, I'll like move around things, make the house a little bit bigger, maybe add in a basement somewhere in this general area so we have more room for the kids, especially for like the toddlers and the children and the teenagers. That way they don't feel like so cramped in one singular room until we have enough money to afford a bigger enough house to move out of Strangerville, probably back to Willow Creek or Windenburg or something like that. But for now, I wanted to keep this room generally kid-friendly and ocean-themed. And I just love all the little decals we got from the bathroom clutter kit. And it just made the theme of the room so much better. And then in here is the main bedroom for Hunter Sailor, who is our matriarch for the 100 Baby Challenge for Generation 5, which I'm very excited about because I never thought I would actually do the 100 Baby Challenge or let alone do another challenge with the same family in a very old save file. But here I am doing the said dang thing and making it happen. And I don't know. I really just adore the whole entire house within itself because it brings life to a family that's just starting basically, and it's in an area that's not really the best like looking or the best comfortable or the best, you know, affordable basically. And I wanted to make sure they had all the things they needed and more, some to live, thrive, and entertain themselves over the course of several Sims months. But this is our little home and I really love it, and it's like so cute. It's on the gallery if y'all want to download it. It's under my gallery name SpringSims, all one word, especially under the hashtag SpringSims as well. But I wanted to show you the family tree just so you can get context of like how insane this family tree is. Now, as you can see, here's Hunter Sailor, our lovely matriarch of our 100 Baby Challenge of Gen 5. Now, as you continue to go over with the family tree, you see a lot of blank, you know, icons here. And it just keeps going and going and going. We're still going. And we keep going and going and going. It goes on forever because there's so many kids. And the way I play is where each occult baby counts as 2. So they're like half human, half alien or whatever. And I kind of made it that way so it was a lot easier for me and not as stressful. But the thing is, the sole person of the 300 Baby Challenge was Lucius Sonic Sailor. His father was Negan Morgan from The Walking Dead. His great-grandmother was Valentina Sailor, who was the Black Widow, basically, or actually Gen 2 of the 100 Baby. And then, you know, Valentina's, you know, mother is up here, who is no longer with us in the family tree. But like, if I click on him, the family tree gets worse. It just gets worse. Do you see what I mean? How I don't know who's related to who had kids with who, how many kids they had. These lines are so jacked up that I can't even tell what is what anymore. And personally, I don't care. Like, look how thin that line is. You can barely see it. Hello? Like, it just gets worse. Do you see what I mean? Messy. But either way, as always, do let me know down in the comments below of what you thought of today's build, especially if you're thinking about doing the 100 Baby Challenge anytime soon, because I can give you some tips and tricks if you need some help. But especially if you're considering of doing this challenge and you have like, you know, any thoughts and opinions about the challenge, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. But Lordy Lou, however, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!